Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the What's Running You podcast. Man, I'm super excited about this week. I talked about dividing this week up into two parts, but I think I'm just going to roll and do it all here because these are short podcasts anyway. But super excited because this is where our story really gets rolling. This week, we're looking at meets a guide and makes a plan. So let's go over the whole What's Running You hero's journey, the 5 steps. Step 1, character wants something. Step 2, goes on an adventure to get it. Step 3, meets a guide and makes a plan. Step 4, takes action and faces obstacles. Step 5, wins the battle, comes back home transformed. So we're at step 3. And like I said, this is where the story really gets rolling because, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to tell a story. That's what this whole plan is about, adding a new great story to our lives and to the world. That's what this whole process is about. So that's what we're doing. And we're at step 3. Step 1, like we said, character wants something. By the way, side note on that, nothing moves a story along like a good deadline. If they're not there by this time, something happens. Like nothing to move your story along like a good deadline. So add that in step 1. And then step 2 is going to get adventure. So step 1 and 2 are kind of like early on in the movie. They're like, you want something, you've kind of denying it, not really doing it. Then you finally decide to do it. And now our movie's getting going. So, and this step is where the meat of it really happens. Like this is where it starts, meeting a guide, making a plan. So, in the book, we talk a lot about story, obviously, because that's the process of kind of transformation, but we talk a lot about, being the entrepreneur of your life. And then we talk about like living from your true self. Like those are kind of the 3 elements of the book. And one other thing with the entrepreneur, we talk about like having a board of directors. And this is kind of like all your guides in together. So we will do more of a dive into board of directors at some time because that seems to be something that people really respond to in the book. And, I think kind of with that, it's like this sense of having mentors or guides or just anyone helping you and pushing you to get there is a really cool thing. So that's what we're going to look like. Get a guide. This is that step in the movie. So here we go. Because let's face it, like these things you want are not in your life because like we say, they're outside your comfort zone. So somehow you've got to like push yourself to get there. And this is someone who's going to push you to do those things. They're not going to do it for you. They're going to help you do those things and learn how to do it and develop yourself. So that's what they are there for. And let's face it, like anything you want to do, pretty much, I'm sure there's something that this is not true, but in general, anything you want to do, someone's done it. A lot of people are doing it and they can help you on your path. Like they can shorten your path. They can just help you accomplish it faster. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at adding those people. So I love this step. The tricky thing is in movies, sometimes, the guy just appears at the right time. And that may happen in your life, Mr. Miyagi just happens to be working Daniel's building, or the droids come and Luke's, we've been talking about Star Wars, he's like, they're old Ben, so all of a sudden Ben is in his life. I hope that happens for you. That's awesome. And there may be a guide right around you that you don't even know that you can tap into. But also, like, this may be the one area where we have to go outside ourselves and really, you may have to find a guide. They might just not appear in your life, but you may have to go out and search for them. So sometimes it can be a little more difficult to find a good guide, and you may have to try different guides and everything. So, but they're really key in doing this step. So I think that's a big, important part. For me, in this getting in shape thing, I have 2 different type of guides. So I would say I have 3 board members. And one of them is a virtual one, which, most board members that I have are people I know. But in this case, I had done Bill Phillips' Body for Life program years ago and had good results. So for the plan I'm doing, which we'll talk about next, I'm using like a modified Body for Life thing. So that's kind of, so like Bill Phillips is a kind of a guide for me. And then kind of my two boys are into fitness and have had really good results. So they are kind of like guides. They can help me, but they're also like Han Solos on the journey with me, kind of going through the process, because those are super helpful to have with you. So it's helpful to have guides and fellow people on the path with you. They both help you kind of get to your goals, because doing it together just helps. You know, Zig Ziglar, who doesn't love Zig Ziglar? He's the best, but I think he said birds that fly together in like that V formation fly 73% faster. I don't know if that's true, but it sounds awesome. And so it's great. So, I mean, I think we fly faster when we fly in a group. So I think that's awesome. Okay. So that's a key. Find a guide. And what that guide will help you do is make a plan. They may give you the plan. You may have to come up with a plan, but they give you some ideas. But you meet a guide, and then we're going to make a plan. And what I do with the plan is using the movie kind of format. I view it as like 3 acts. You know, the brain just can work with threes well, I think, you know, beginning, middle, end, obviously, and just, I don't know, your mind can get around that. If it gets beyond that, it gets stepwise, it gets, or for me, it gets a little more challenging. So I really like to kind of like dial it in with threes. So I think about those milestones or those big steps that I need to take. Like, this is act 1, this is act 2, this is act 3, and I'm trying to get there. And then within that, I'll be like, what are the little steps I need to take to get me to that first milestone? So it's like your 3 milestones. And I also like, you know, it's so corny, but I like, you know, acts, because it's like these are the actions you need to take. So it's I don't know, it's got an active kind of feel to it. So I like that. And so for this one, you know, I actually, you know, act 1 was like implement a workout routine, and then act 2 was like, then I kind of, once that was locked in, I kind of am implementing the kind of eating plan I'm doing, and then I have like a, you know, kind of like weight or body fat kind of milestones that I'm trying to hit. So that's kind of the way I do it. But each plan can be different. There could be internal plan, external plans, and we can talk more about that at another time. I also, you know, I break my goals into quarters. Just general, I think about like what, you know, each quarter I kind of think about my goals. So it doesn't always fit perfectly like this. I just kind of use this to throw you out, because kind of the general way I think about it is for the goal I'm working on that corner, I'll kind of break it down into 3 months of that quarter and say, I'm going to try to do this. Try to finish act 1 this month, then act 2, and then act 3. Obviously, you may do it faster or longer, but it's just kind of some way to kind of get my guide around it. So, yeah, that's how I look at it. But I love this stuff, man. This is where it starts becoming a real thing. This is where it starts becoming alive, and you're you know, you're starting to create this story. So this is a big step. So have fun with it. Do something. You know, if you want to get learn how to play golf, go hire a coach or do something. Get a video series. Do something that helps you do that. You're going to get better that way, and get a plan and go after it, or, you know, whatever it is that you want to try to learn. So yeah, so we're going to come back next week, and we're going to talk about the real, you know, this is kind of the engine, and the next week is really the gasoline. It's the really thing that makes it go. So we're going to talk about taking action and facing obstacles next week. So I'm excited. Let's do this thing. Now we're really getting into it. So hope you're well. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much.